But it was taking me a moment to get into this whole thing. So, of course, there's some drama going on between Silky, Nutmeg, Ganache, and Akira Davenport. And apparently, there was some drama that happened between them, I think maybe a year or something ago, where Akira wound up calling Silky a thief and things of that nature. They didn't really get into it on the show. I was upset that y'all got rid of Kennedy because it was something like, yeah, they're not speaking or whatever the case is. And Akira made a comment and or said something other when I was beating a face, and Silky gave her this look like that or whatever. And maybe what they're hoping is why they're keeping Akira around, because to me, I like Akira. She's a good drag performer. But when it comes to getting personal and doing like acting challenge, whatever, she still is weak at that. And I think maybe what it is they probably want to keep her around so they can try to see if they can strum up some drama between these two and then work it out in front of the cameras and give us some grist for the mill. I'm still upset over the fact that we don't have Morgan McMichaels in the semifinals. Y'all did her dirty again, just like y'all did Kennedy dirty again. Because that other Kennedy, Jasmine Kennedy, should not have made it to the semifinals. And I stand on that. And I don't give a fuck who feelings I heard was saying that. I just do not think she should have been there. She's on the show, I guess, because she's being messy and she's good for TV. And that's why they keeping her around. She likes to be a busybody up in everybody's damn business and don't know how to shut the fuck up and listen. Just like what she did on her previous season. But I guess now that she's on this thing. Look, I already said before I didn't even like the idea. Y'all had four of the girls in bracket three in on in the semifinals. That was some bullshit. Because no shade, Sam Starr shouldn't have made it either, but that's just me. So RuPaul's Drag Race has given fans excellent reality TV for years, as y'all know. So, Akira Davenport and Silky Nutmeg Ganache have very similar drag race experiences. The two were finalists on season 11 and competed on All Star 6 together. So, they have a tight knit bond. They have a bit of history. The duo became fast friends as they entered the workroom on both seasons. But they had a public falling out in June of 2025. Now, then they start filming Drag Race around that time. The last season, because it's 2026. They filmed that a while ago. So why did they have a falling out? I would have been like, what did Silky do? What did Silky do? Remember when they did that with the other girl? Um Willem. So the basic was about, things are heating up between two drag race fan favorites, and it's happening in real time. Akira and Silky are caught in a public feud after Akira posted a series of explosive tweets calling Silky out for betrayal and theft. You can't be a reverend and a thief. It was heartbreaking to experience from someone you considered a sister, but the full story shall come out today. I've held my tongue and saved face for her far too long. She doesn't have talent. She's just to laugh at on TV. Yeah, these were tweets that she put out there that I was reading. And the fans was gagging with Akira saying that. And then she said that she's going to drop the full receipts. The timeline hasn't known peace since. But now, and then it says both queens are rumored to be on the next All-Star season. And this Instagram post was posted 53 weeks ago before the season, which was June 29th, 2025. So, it's not that hard to keep things on the wraps because the stuff about the queens who makes them on the show always ends up coming out. So she said that the receipts and everything was going to come out, but what are you talking about? So apparently, some people believe that Silky took a TV that belonged to Akira or something or another. I'm still kind of confused of what ignited their beef or whatever the case is, or why these two aren't close friends. They're basically saying that Silky doesn't have talent. And don't get me wrong, Silky is entertaining and was good TV, but I do agree. Her looks, a lot of the drag that she was coming in, she looked real sloppy. But it was like, yeah, because you got this big girl on the show, she was something that was kind of like being used to laugh at. So I do agree in that standpoint, but to say that she's not talented, I don't know if I agree with that. Because I've seen Silky perform when I lived out in LA, and she definitely performs now. So, like I said, they did elaborate on their beef in the confessional chair. And of course, just like in this tweet, Akira didn't go into extreme detail as to what started their fight, but she made it clear that she has no intentions on being friends with Ganache ever again. So What I do hope, and it might have happened already, like if we'll get the real tea about what happened, because if I'm not mistaken, I do know that Kennedy Davenport was on Roscoe's, which I believe is currently airing as we do this up as I take on this story. I do believe Kennedy was on there. I don't necessarily know if Akira was also on there, but if she is, because the only clip I've been seeing floating around where Kennedy Davenport was reading Jasmine Kennedy down. I don't know if she's necessarily on that one, but if she is, I hope that the queens asked her, okay, so why are you and Silky beefing? Because there's this drama. You said things about her on social media, and I hate when y'all do that. Y'all go and y'all say things on social media, and then we're sitting there like, sis, what happened? And y'all leaving it vague. Just like I just saw a post from Candy Muse, where she was on Twitter talking about she's done with Fire Island. And I'm sitting there like, what happened? We gonna try to find out what transpired. Because I remember when I went to Fire Island with Sailor Mermaid, this is probably like what, 2 years ago? A year ago, 2 years? No, it might have been 2 years ago. And um I saw Candy Muse, Tsunami Muse. I seen a bunch of the drag race girls out of drag out there. So Um, I'm like, what transpired that made you not want to be dealing with anyone? So yeah, this was the picture that Kennedy Davenport responded to on my Facebook page where, and I'm glad I ain't opened it because something popped up that shouldn't have. I was like, I ain't trying to get banned on here. But where is it? So yeah, so some of the people in regards to this whole episode, because what I said was that All Stars 11 elimination was some BS. Why does Rue keep playing in Joey's face? She was the funniest, in my opinion, by not choosing her to win. I also think the table read was better than the horrible challenge. I also love Kennedy going in on that other Kennedy, Jasmine Kennedy, who she called messy, and which you'll see when the new episode of Roscoe's viewing party premieres on Monday. And so one person said that was the worst challenge I think I've ever seen. Another person said Raider Queen has never helped the Black Queens. Every time they introduce Raider Queen, the Black Queens end up in the bottom when they didn't even do the worst. How the Queens and production work together during Raider Queen, it gives white twink popularity contest. And a couple of people laughed in it. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that because Mikey Meeks was in the bottom in regards of the whole Raider Queen, and she was pissed in regards to the whole situation. But what happened? Mikey showed you bitches because she ended up winning season 18. So I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. One person said the faint won the lip sync. Another person said Rue to Mikey Meeks. That Raider Queen bottom two was sabotage. Also, Rue, let's bring Raider Queen back. Another person said the drama between Akira and Silky would make more sense because Kennedy is an older queen. Hmm. And you said, not somebody said it's chocolate. The other person said when Akira won the lip sync and Kennedy reacted with wow. Yeah, because it was like, we don't agree with that. And then another person said, totally agree. I only found Joey and Crystal funny. Defo more funnier with more ease. Then there's the mess of Kennedy going home. Was shocked. Lip sync was way better than Jasmine and Sam's double save. I've grown to love Kennedy, and she is always a true entertainer. Unfortunately, she did what Rue always said not to do. Don't fuck it up. Kennedy fucked up the Maxi Challenge. No worries. She'll eventually win Drag Race Earth versus Mars Alien Royale. Okay, that was the first time I read that one. That was funny. Um, where's the now I'm trying to find the Kennedy Davenport one because it's I found it. So she said so Kennedy Davenport put LOL. Wait, actually I could probably bring it up for y'all now that I found it and I got rid of that other thing. Cause I'm like, people not you sending news in my thing. But anyway, okay. So it's right here. Kennedy Davenport, LOL. And then another one. I love all the love. This means so much. So, sometimes I be forgetting that sometimes when I be posting stuff on how many followers and things I have and friends I have on Facebook, that things spread out publicly to other people, and I be thinking, oh, they ain't seeing this. So anyway, so yeah, so shout out to Kennedy Davenport. Hopefully we'll see you down the line in the future, but this is just ridiculous. Like, how many times you gonna keep coming on this show and they want to keep playing in your face? But look, I already know who's gonna be the two that makes it all the way to the finale, and I'm not gonna spoil it. Just like I knew who was gonna make it, who was the ball that was picked in the semifinals, and it turned out to be Joey J, who, of course, I knew, and I ain't lying because Onyx and I was, and we stated basically was like, what's up? So I be knowing stuff, and then somebody asked me, how do you know who's gonna be in it? Because I think they picked Joey J, Akira, and oh my god, how I forget their damn name, Crystal, as being in the top three. And I said two of them out of the three you got correct. And they went and hit me. I said I ain't gonna tell you which one, but two out of the three of them is your top two. And he went and was like, how do you know? Inbox me. I said, because I have sources. I know people who work in the whole drag race realm, and I find out stuff before everybody else. I just don't want to spoil it because y'all get mad when I come on here and spoil stuff. So I keep it to myself. But anyway, so I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story regarding that last episode of Drag Race? What were your overall thoughts? What do you think about somebody said it should have been a double Shantae. I'm like, that defeats the purpose. Like, we're at a point now where you got to know all the girls in the three brackets. Now that we're in the semifinals, people have to they gotta start making cuts. We can't start saving people. Like, that's not how that works. It will work if it's a regular season, but this is the semifinals now. They gotta start eliminating people. So what did you think about the overall episode? Do you think that Kennedy Davenport should have went home, or do you think that Akira was kept because the production feels like they could get a little more drama out of Akira and Silky's beef? So whatever y'all thoughts are on this matter, let me know in the comments down below.